Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Fandemic channel. Today you have the pleasure of a solo vlog from myself. This is my first vlog and first solo content for the channel outside TikTok. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I hope you enjoy what we have in store for you today. I've recently spent some time in Birmingham.
Now, speaking of which, a new girl starts here today. She's from a very poor country called Birmingham.
Where?
Birmingham!
Oh.
Where?
Checking in on some awesome retro gaming stores and some collectible stores. Prior to heading down there, I did make a nice list of places I wanted to visit, which we'll stick up on the screen here somewhere. Now, didn't quite manage to get around them all, but managed to get to most of them, and the goal here is just to compare it to some other places we have visited as a group, and also use it to plan some future content and trips. Now, in a wee second, we're going to jump back to Monday prior to the trip, and I'm going to ask Ross to set me some challenges for the couple of days that I was away, and at the end of the video we'll come back together and decide if I failed or passed or whatever with what was set for me. Editor Craig's almost certainly going to throw some memes in the screen to decide whether it was actually a successful trip or not. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the vlog and jump back to Monday. Good morning everyone. Hopefully the intro I decide to record later on this week for this video makes a lot of sense, and we'll get a nice clean cut to this bit of the video. So as I've said, this is my first vlog style content for the channel, and I'm not wanting to make it just a whole load of here's this place, here's this place, here's this place. Wow, this looks so cool. So what I've done is I have asked the guys to set me a couple of challenges for my time down in Birmingham and see if I can pick up some cool for either us, them, the channel or whatever. So with the power of editing and shock, a little bit of scripting, hopefully we'll cut right out of Ross setting me 3 challenges.
Yes, totally not jealous at all. So that's why I'm going to set you some challenges to make you sweat a bit. Okay, of these 3 challenges, they are as follows. Number 1, I am looking for something for myself. Now, the budget for that is £30. So you've got a little bit to play with. That could be 1 thing, it could be 2 things, it could be 10 things. Not too fussed, but it just has to meet some criteria. It needs to be something I don't already own. So no dupes, please. If you want something brand new and exciting that we can show off in the vlog and some videos and play it, that would be really cool. Or something that is applicable for a future game series that we're doing, which you'll have maybe seen some of those videos on TikTok. Something along those lines, that would work. Number 2 is to get yourself something for your current collection. So you've been getting back into collecting, which has been very cool to see. I'm going to set you a budget of a tenner. So get yourself something that you don't already have. It can be whatever fits that criteria, but something cool for your shelves, in your current office, in your future office, whatever. And challenge number 3. Now, challenge number 3 is a bit more of a team one. It's going to be a bit trickier, but I think you've got what it takes if you've got the time. Is to try and find something for the group that is going to benefit us in some way. So either something that improves one of our setups, or something that we can buy low, sell high and reinvest it into something for someone's setup. Budget, I'll leave that one up to you, but good luck.
And we're back. Ross was so quick and efficient at doing that, it looks like I haven't actually moved. So, clever guy, so if to get him something, that's, I'm not surprised. I was going to buy myself some stuff anyway, so okay, the budget makes that interesting. And the channel growth stuff, that'll be quite difficult because I don't have a lot of spare time, and I'm going to try my best not just to buy Pokemon cards to rip on TikTok or YouTube Live or whatever. I need to try and get something better. Okay, interesting. So the next video will hopefully, the next clip will hopefully be me in Birmingham heading to the first place, which should be Vintage Gamer, hopefully, or the Graded Gallery, and we'll see what we can pick up there. I did have a bit of a game plan. Unfortunately, the game plan's went to because the traffic is horrendous. I was hoping to get out to Vintage Gamer, which is going to take about an hour to get in the car, and I don't have that time if I want to hit the rest of the places. So, new plan is we're hitting the Game HQ in the city centre, reopened yesterday. Then I'm going to head down to Forbidden Planet if it's long, just walk past it. If the goal we end up in CEX before it closes at 7, we should have plenty of time. I've already slightly cheated and I think I can get what I'm looking for Ross's challenge, at least the first challenge in CEX. Pick up a couple of games for him. And then I'll hopefully finish up at the gallery when the traffic's a bit quieter later on. And we'll jump in the car. If I've got time, I might try and hit one more store in between CEX and the gallery, and then line up the rest for tomorrow. So that is the plan. Hopefully we'll cut back to me arriving at Game HQ, and we'll see what it looks like in there. I'm going to try my best not just to buy Pokemon cards for it. Actually, a Class A shop. They did lose their previous setup. I think it was round the corner. And they're in that place in the Great West Market for the next 8 weeks, they were saying. And hopefully get something lined up more permanent. But really good stock, really good stack. Had to buy something. Sure, you guys have just watched me rip the prismatics in the store. A couple of reasonable pulls, but nothing spectacular. And it's time to have CEX, and this time we are spending Roscoe's money. Actually check the size of the shop out, and I'll be putting the head inside. This is going to be class. Look at this eye. Roscoe's money is definitely getting spent in here. So I felt like I spent about an hour standing in that queue to get seen there. It's so shit in here. And I don't have a literal bag, so I can't get the CEX bag secured, but however,
challenge run should be complete. Roscoe's items for his collection have been bought. I've got a slight change of plan because I'm earlier than I thought it was going to be for the run. So I'm going to head up to Tokyo Toys for a quick wander, and then we'll head outside the city and try and get at least 2 places in tonight before I think although I think the Pokemon card promo is on for Happy Meals, so it's all the Happy Meal for dinner, and we'll rip those cards later on. You might be wondering why I'm carrying a giant backpack. Officially I'm carrying the laptop, in case I decide to sit down later and find something to do some editing and start getting this video put together. But it's slightly less carrying the fucking tripod in my backpack than it is when I carry it in my hand. There's a reason. Big ass Warhammer store, it's not my thing, but I'm straight into Tokyo Toys for a quick wander with the intention of not actually buying anything, I'm just not buying anything Pokemon cards, that's just stupid. So, first impressions came out to the gallery, parking. I'm about half a mile up the road, and I'm bumping up my pavement, which everybody seems to be doing, even though it seems to have completely disappeared back up the road at home. Arguably everybody's driving seems even worse, so I'm completely confused what's actually going on, and I don't know, luckily it's not my car, but at the same time it's a hire car and I'm going to get if something happens to it. But I've now driven by it about 3 times trying to get parked, and it does look class, and I'm really looking forward to this. I can see this being expensive. I can see this being very expensive. Luckily I'm trying my best for the challenge completion not to be Pokemon cards, but I just see a world in which I buy an ETB and rip it, and that's a YouTube video, or at the very least a decent TikTok segment. So why is it always there something on fire up there? Something's smoking. Alright, so hopefully there's no fire, because that would just completely ruin my whole plan here. The thing I'll say is I mentioned about some of the shops I've not been in. There's a fair few places I'm not going to get to this week that I still would like to, so this is looking good, man. This place seems to have everything. So, graded gallery is advertised, if not even better. I'll have thrown some clips up and done some voiceovers there, but honestly the videos won't do it justice. You've seen the slab wall, the singles wall's just phenomenal to look at. WWE cards, UFC cards, Jude Bellingham card, the mini $1 million championship belt, which I did not want to ask the price because there was a world in which I was walking out of there with that. Guys, I'm a massive wrestling fan, so we're talking wrestling, put him on the podcast, which hopefully he'll join, subscribe, and that'll eventually get somewhere. Last time I said in his comment, let us know what he thinks yet. So honestly, man, like the thing I've learned getting back into this sort of collecting hobby in the last few weeks in general has been how good the people in these stores are. It's not just sell as if they're trying to build the community, because like I went in there, filmed a bit, and obviously I'm never going to film somewhere and not buy something. I think that's a bit disrespectful, but I feel like I had to buy some, and not in a bad way, so I've picked up some Scarlet and Violet base set cards. I'm not going to rip these. I've already ripped the prismatics from earlier, which you'll have seen, so I'll not rip these until I get home, because I've not got deck boxes or top loaders with me at the moment, so I'll either rip them later on if I can get some top loaders, if not, rip them back home. The plan now is to head up to Battleground Gaming, which I think is more One Piece sort of stuff I'm into, but still want to check it out, and that'll be me for the night.
So another mid-vlog update.
You're joking. Not another one?
So at this point in day one, I do realise that I'm miserably failing 2 of the 3 challenges. I've got absolutely nothing for myself, and I haven't even thought about the group task. Ideally, I was hoping to add a Squirtle or a Blastoise Japanese 151 to go with the War Turtle I've got, or some nice Blaziken arts to add to the slab I picked up to create one really nice display. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but actually became part of the fun of travelling around and collecting with a set goal in mind. Did pick up some Scarlet and Violet base set booster packs, which you would have seen in the last clip, and had an awesome chat about wrestling, and even shared with them details of the podcast. Did rip the packs off camera, nothing major pulled, so I didn't include them in the footage because you've already seen me ripping some packs of Prismatic earlier on. Then I headed out towards Battleground Gaming. Now, this shop was particularly busy. There's a couple of guys sitting at a table set in the middle playing, I'm assuming, Warhammer, and quite a few cardboard boxes about, so I wasn't sure if they were heading to the gaming market, which was on the Sunday after. So I decided not to film, just let them crack on, just pop my head in. To be honest, it looked ridiculously well stocked for someone that doesn't know a lot about tabletop gaming, and I think it's definitely worth checking out if that is your niche. I also set my plan for day 2 with a couple of places to get back to in the city, and then ultimately head out towards old school gaming, vintage gamer, and finish up Entertainment World before heading to the airport for the flight home. I wasn't explicitly looking for anything specific, but I'm really looking for some inspiration and nostalgia as I think about what my new gaming setup's going to look like once I've moved house. Now, I did set a target for myself at this point of I'd love to get something WWE related for the background display that will look really nice when we're doing podcast recordings. Unfortunately, at this point, the only thing I saw that was interesting was a graded 9 PSA 9 card in the graded gallery. However, it was Goldberg, and if you watch the podcast The Golden Shovel, you'll know we all think that Bill Goldberg is a so that was not happening. At this point I realised it's probably worthwhile just calling it a night. After driving it to Battleground Gaming, it was past, I think it was 8:39 PM at this point. I'd left the house at 4:30 AM for my flight down, so I've went and grabbed a Happy Meal, which I was hoping to get the new Pokemon cards because they launched this day. Got a nice Dragonite box, which Craig will stick up somewhere to show you, but still the old toy, so absolutely scammed. Anyway, next up is day 2 of the Birmingham vlog. Right folks, welcome back to day 2 of this Birmingham vlog. Now, I did record something on the day and it didn't really work, and I'm jumping in just now as well to explain that I had to deal with some stuff back home on day 2, so in between the clips of us in the shops, rather than recording and talking to the camera and giving a bit of feedback and thoughts on what was happening, I was sort of on the phone back home with various people trying to sort some stuff out, so there'll be a little bit more of me jumping back in and post and adding some context. Hopefully you enjoyed what day 1 was, and now it's time to jump straight in. Day 2, we start off an HMV vault on Birmingham High Street, which to be honest was unexpected and brilliant.
Right, so finished in HMV Vault. Hopefully you guys liked all the clips. Still looks the part. Ton of stuff in there. No Pokemon TCG, but I think I've convinced myself I need a turntable and some of the records, because walking away from those Linkin Park records was almost felt painful. And now we're heading up towards the Bandai store, which is what I'm most interested to see, because that'll go last month. So at this point in the video, we have just left the Bandai store in the middle of Birmingham, which only opened last month, the month before I did this vlog. Now, as much as some of the arts and figures and stuff did impress me, and the One Piece card wall was pretty awesome to look at, it was probably wasted on me. It's not something I've ever been interested in, not in a bad way, just in a never really got involved with it. It's not something I've ever really watched or been part of in terms of the community or the collectors. It is something that Editor Craig's certainly into, and his job is to give us some anime, manga to get involved, watch, read, and react to for the channel. So maybe the next time I'm in Birmingham I'll have more interest in it, but it was still a really cool thing to see. It's obviously new, it's exciting. If I was being brutally honest, I would say it didn't look as good as what I thought it was going to, in terms of what I saw on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube when it opened. It might have just been because obviously it was opened in an event type scenario. But at this point, it's when the interesting stuff kicks off to me. We head out of the city to Old School Gaming at Brierley Hill, and then Vintage Gamer in Hill's Own. So the clips will be coming up just back to back straight through. And unfortunately, at this point, we realise that because of traffic,
we are not going to make Entertainment World because it shuts at 6. This was a shame because it was, when I found Entertainment World, it popped up on Facebook, that actually prompted this whole video idea of then searching and touring different retro gaming and collector stores across Birmingham and the West Midlands. So this was a shame because we had to head that way back to the airport anyway. We probably drove within a few minutes of it. So yeah, we're heading out the city, heading out these two retro gaming stores, which were phenomenally well stocked, and then you'll be back to me here for the wrap up of those places. Obviously in Birmingham it would be flight to airport training. You say just hire a car if you kill time. You too, Bob. In the car. As you can see, folks, I'm now back home in the office after spending a couple of days in Birmingham, and I am joined by Ross.
Hello.
And as you guys will know from right at the start of this video, Ross sent me 3 challenges on my tour around various retro gaming and collector stores in the Birmingham and West Midlands area. So it's time now to look back at those, decide if they were successful or not. Can record the outro of this video before I go back and start recording the intro and all the other bits that I've missed out in the last couple of days. So, 3 challenges, Ross. Do you want to just remind us of what those 3 challenges was? Where?
Yeah, sure. So number 1 was buy something for me with a price limit. Number 2 was buy something for yourself with a price limit. And number 3 was to acquire or do something that we could either reinvest into the channel or to benefit us in some way, shape, or form.
Right. So, I've not decided yet if the viewers are going to know what I've bought you, because we might blur that out in the video and then reveal it at the end, like a good YouTuber. So the only place to start is in Challenge 3 and work our way backwards, because we've built Challenge 1 for so long that everybody's desperate to find out what's going on. So Challenge 3 was about benefit the channel. Now, as the viewers will have seen, there was a massive bargain bin of crap in House of Fraser from the old Beyond Gaming Arena, and as much as I was tempted to say this is the first part for the inevitable TNF studio, they wouldn't let me swap the keys about to try and make individual working keyboards. I had to take them as they were, and they were off. So that was out the question, and also who wants to support Mike Ashley. Essentially all I did was have a wrestling chat with somebody for 30 minutes. So the owner of the Graded Gallery, who was absolutely brand new, sat and talked wrestling to him for 20-30 minutes. He took the details of the podcast away, and whether it's coincidence or not, we woke up the next morning to 3 new subscribers. So my gift to the channel was spreading the word of the Golden Shovel and the Nerd Fandemic.
Which, in fairness, at that point in time, at least at that time of recording, was a 10% increase. So when you look at it as a percentage, that's not a failure. I think that you have to say that counts. I think we can count that.
I will take that. Challenge 2. Buy something for myself. And if my memory serves me right, the clip of me walking the dog and one day asking you to set me challenges, I'm sure I explicitly stated I do not want to just go away and buy Pokemon cards.
I believe you did.
Now, the issue we've got with that is, as I've said in numerous TikToks and videos, I'm in the middle of moving house, and I'm being very careful of the collectibles that I'm currently buying, because A, I have to keep them away from my wee son, and B, quite easy to get them damaged, especially from looking at mint inbox things. Now, I didn't want to just buy games for the sake of buying games, so I didn't want to go into shops, film for 20 minutes and buy nothing, so I bought...
What is that? Oh my god! What is that?
Pokemon cards. What the Pokemon cards? And I pulled pretty much nothing. I think there's a couple in the prismatics that were semi-decent. I would suggest I'll probably failed that challenge because I was way over budget, unless we decide that one pack of Scarlet and Violet counts.
I mean, it would count. You've not failed it in spirit, I would say. What? You've failed it in a financial standpoint, but you succeeded in that you definitely bought something for yourself. So we'll let editor Craig in post decide what he feels about that one.
Serious?
No.
That one goes down the middle.
Right, let's just cut and record a bit when I say I bought one pack of cards that was less than a tenner. But in my defence, and I say this in the vlog, I wasn't going to spend 20-30 minutes in summer filming and not buy something. I did try. Graded Gallery had lots of cool stuff, as everybody will have seen, but nothing that I went and said, right, I really want that card. And I was refusing to buy a Bill Goldberg wrestling card. So, in my defence, some of them were just a case of, right, you know, you've been pretty cool with me having my phone out, I need to buy something. I will say that Game HQ, and I think I did say this in the video, was £7 for prismatics, and everywhere else I've seen is at least a tenner. So if you're in Birmingham and you want cheap prismatics, go to Game HQ. And also support the guys, because I believe they lost the shop, the shopping arcade they were in is completely shut down and immediately been redeveloped. There's something now in the Great Western Arcade for 8 weeks temporarily before they move again, some were hopefully more permanent. So the guys were brand new, they let me rip and film in the shop. So if you're in the Birmingham area and you want packs, just go pick up our packs, help them out. I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to do. Now, the main event, Challenge 1, the biggie. So you set me a 30 quid budget, and as you already know, I've spent £18.
So well under budget.
But you do not know what I've bought you. Now, I am bricking it for this, because I took it really seriously, genuinely took it seriously, and I thought it was so obvious what I bought that this whole reveal thing would have been completely pointless. But you genuinely have no idea, and Craig also has no idea, and that's what's really confusing me. So I hope I've listened and rewatched it numerous times. I have to have heard this right. I am convinced that what I heard in your "This is my collection here in my lovely shelves" video, you had 2 games that you played and owned digitally but didn't have physically.
Okay.
So I have bought you Gears 5
Okay, yes, do not have that. +1.
and Skate 3.
Skate 3 also played it a lot. Did not have it, so absolutely spot on.
So I couldn't get that on the Xbox, so PSD was fine. That's why I double checked with you that
That's totally fine.
any
yeah.
console was fine. The cases actually have fixed themselves after getting slightly damaged in the suitcase, but that's why I was cacking it, because I was convinced that this should have been obvious because you'd said it in a video that released 3 days ago.
See, my thing is I say a lot of things, so but no, that's a success. Those are 2 things that are not physically discs owned, so
Counts.
absolutely.
Right.
Thank you very much. That counts. You have passed that challenge.
Passed the most important challenge. Right, I think that's time to wrap up this vlog. This was about 15 hours of driving across Birmingham and walking about Birmingham trying to make this work, and obviously we did miss out a couple of places in day 2 just with traffic and trying to deal with stuff back at home. However, I had a lot of fun. The only thing that would have made it better is if we had more of the crew with us. So let us know in the comments, did I miss anywhere in Birmingham apart from the stuff that was on the list that would have been on screen earlier, because I had them in mind, just didn't make it in time. And let us know where else in the UK we should try next to see if we can compare to Birmingham. So with that being said, this is the end of the vlog. Take it easy and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Cut.